You took what? You wait. Is that a new direction? Look left.
Oh,
look right.
Oh, I don't know. No, I was actually. It's funny. I was sitting here and I heard I thought it was rain, and so I was like,
"What is that stuff?"
Oh, I was like, "What's that sound effect outside?"
I was waiting for you to bust through the curtain.
I know. That's why I realized I was late on my cue. That's why I was like, "Whoop!"
You gotta go. Sweet Scott Ashworth. Click, and then keep it moving. Bam, bam, bam. Dun, 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 dun. All right, Vernon, you want to go ahead and get this party started?
Yo, what's happening? Party people, world out there, folks who we see. It is your boy Vernon Somoza. I am a pro wrestling manager. I am a avid fan. I am a self-titled historian for the little bit I know, just a little bit. Just coming to y'all here. So thankful, so grateful to my.
Touch it
that way.
Wait a minute, too deep. There we go.
There we go.
Just the tip.
There we go.
Am I saying my part now?
Do your thing behind.
My name, you'll already see if you're watching the video version, but the audio for the audio folks at wait, I'm gonna wait till the banner goes by. For all the audio folks that are on, if this banner don't hurry up, Spotify, Anchor, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and Stitcher. My name is Frank Champion, the other co-host of this beautiful show, and the name of this beautiful show is
the Pay Window Podcast.
And
we are on
get him.
The Sandbox Podcast Network. Thank you to y'all for hosting us, having us here on this wonderful channel so we can bring and share these sometimes hot, sometimes lukewarm, and you know what? As long as they're not cold, we're all right. Our takes as we bring them to y'all fresh off the scene, fresh like Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. Look, this was a few weeks ago, but we are still feeling the ramifications of what happened. And no, we're not talking about the show.
Not about the matches, because if there was anything about the matches, it's whatever it is at the show, because there's no storyline to progress.
Exactly.
So there were
some great matches. Don't get me wrong.
There
was
the
FTR match with the Briscoes.
The Briscoes,
but
very good match.
That ain't what we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about that world title match that went on
match number one.
Number one. Every match that night was a title match. Every match, except for Willow Nightingale's match.
Yes,
but that's pre-show, I guess. But if it's on the card, it's on the show, right? Corny
with the same crowd.
Yep. So we're talking about the world title match, and everybody was, well, I'm not gonna say everybody. The ROH/AEW fans were all hyped for this match because it's Claudio.
And remember, and they had to flip a coin, and by the luck of the draw, the heavyweight title lost that coin flip, so they were on first, and then the tag titles were on in the main event.
So
double main event show.
One particular grappler was not happy with the creative. We're gonna call it that. With the creative for his,
or as has been reported, right?
Allegedly, that's my favorite word, man. Allegedly. So Claudio and Jonathan Gresham had a ROH title match. Went on number one. I was actually excited for it because I like, you know me. I'm a Claudio M word, and I'm not a huge fan of Gresham, but he's okay with me. I don't. Are you falling asleep on me?
No, you froze on me. Yeah, you froze on me for a second there.
Oh, you froze on me for a second too.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looked like you were taking a long blink on my side. I'm not gonna say that he's terrible. I don't like him. He's not my favorite cup of tea. My favorite cup of tea is the Lipton iced tea mix. I mix with water and it's kind of like Kool-Aid. That's my cup of tea.
Sure.
Jonathan Gresham is like herbal tea. And I just can't rock with herbal tea. I don't like hot tea. It's not my thing. I like iced tea. You know what I mean? That's my thing. But I get Gresham. I rock with him. I wanted to see this match because I wanted to see him work Claudio.
Let me ask you a question. When you say you get him, right? What do you mean you get him?
I understand what he's trying to portray. He's trying to portray a Benoit-ish style of professional wrestling in my opinion.
Benoit-ish. Okay, so a Benoit-ish. Physical
grappling, holds, Greco-Roman-ish style of wrestling. You know what I mean? Not
Okay.
this spotty, flippy
Yeah, yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah.
blah
No, I
blah.
get that. I get that.
Yeah,
You okay.
I
So,
understand it. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what's my favorite
but
flavor of tea. But go ahead. What are you pondering about?
I'm struggling to understand. You're saying you get Gresham, right? I watch Gresham too.
And you don't get him at all.
Well, I don't understand what there is to get. Like, I mean, I guess that's why I'm going really, like, I guess because you're saying you get him makes me feel like there's some depth to this. There's some depth here that's
No,
worth me getting. And the thing is, my thing is like,
no.
I
There's
think
no
the problem
depth.
with Gresham is that there is none.
There's
There's
no
nothing
depth.
to get.
Oh,
He's a grappler.
I get that. Okay, so I get, in your words, I get that there's nothing to get. He's a
Okay.
wrestler.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
wrestler.
Yes. I guess like
Right.
that's it. Like that's the thing
That's
with
it.
Gresham. I don't get is that like what's to get with Gresham.
He's a grappler.
Like the fact
That's
that
it.
he argued for creative in this, like, in the story goes that he argued for his creative and direction, etc.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So
Yeah,
that match is short. The match was short compared to what you expected. I think. Let me see. Let me get the
based on
exact
expectation based on what resulted, and even, I mean, talk about the attitude, right? Gresham walks out not in his gear, didn't have his flag, nothing. Didn't even have his new manager.
No octopus mask. Stokely Hathaway came in midway through the match.
No, wasn't
Stokely Hathaway. Prince Nana. I'm sorry. That's
wasn't
racist.
Prince Nana either. What are you doing?
It was Prince Nana. It was Prince Nana.
No, it wasn't. It was Julius Smokes.
Sir, it was Prince Nana.
Oh, I thought it was Julius Smokes.
Julius Smokes on Ring of Honor TV. When Tony Khan's Ring of Honor.
Tony Khan's I thought. Are you for real? I'm crazy.
Nah,
Tony,
you're the
Julius Smokes.
one.
Nah, Julius Smokes is in MLW.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, I'm like, what are you talking about? He was back, and I was like, you're right. It was Prince Nana.
The four pre-show matches is crazy. Still to think about it. So yes, see, Jonathan Gresham with Prince Nana. The match went 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
And his manager walked out at like minute number 5 for that match.
Can I tell you?
Randomly walked out.
In comparison, pre-show match number 3 of the Embassy, which was Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony with Prince Nana, defeated Alex Zane, Blake Christian, and Tony Deppen. That match went 11 minutes and 35 seconds. So for a world title match that was a coin flip for who's going to be the main event, allegedly, to go only 11 minutes and 30 seconds, you kind of, okay, we're going to go 10 and that's it. We're going to go 10 to 12 and that's really it. So Gresham was hot. You could tell. Yeah. It's funny because
he had the boo-boo face. He walked out with the boo-boo face. He walked out with the, like, I'm just here to do my job.
So I was putting my kid to bed early, and Shay had sent me a text. He goes, man, he's like, how does Gresham normally come out? I said, oh, he's got this whole deal. He's got the jacket. He's got the flag. He wears the octopus mask. He's the octopus, Jonathan Gresham, all the ways he can grab a hold of you like an octopus. That's his thing. Okay. Sure. Then Shay goes, oh, something happened. Something had to happen because he's only out here in a t-shirt. And his demeanor, he came out all thick neck, sulking around already, like he didn't want to be out there.
That's the perfect word. He was sulking. Yes. Sulking is the exact word. He just had that look in his face of just,
I don't like it here. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. They put me in timeout. I don't want to be here. Time to go. So Vern, my guy was definitely tight. He showed it, which is what you're not supposed to do. No matter how hot you are, you leave it in the back. You go out there and perform. And then if you want it to be back, you can bring it back when you're in the back, right?
Yeah.
He definitely didn't do that. He showed it out there in front of everyone. Any smart person watching could know wrong.
Yeah.
Could know something was wrong. And not people who were caught up in the moment. Because if you were alive, you might have not even caught it. So many things happening when you're at a live show, you might have not caught it. But sitting down, watching on TV, you saw it, you're like, whoa, something's up. Match was quick. Claudio went over. Gresham did good business with Claudio, stood up, shook his hand. Code of honor, rolled out the ring, called it a day.
Can we talk about that giant swing, though, where it looked like Claudio was going to kill him?
Gresham is like the perfect size to get swung.
I know,
he's so small.
But wasn't it almost like, you're almost like, man, Gresham, if there was one thing you should have put your foot down about, I'd have been like, I'll take 5 of them. But don't swing me around like a child.
You're not going to swing me around like I'm some kind of toddler, bro. He's sitting there.
It was
the
the
top
visual
view.
was rough. Yes. But when they did the top-down view of him getting swung around like a toddler with his parent, it was like, and that right there just killed any sense of
All he needed
credibility.
to do was wee.
Yeah.
All right.
Claudio should have held him by his fingertips and just swung him around like that because it would have been the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, but it's man, the Gresham thing. Like, I want to empathize with him in the sense that I get it, right? He felt that there was no direction, and with Tony Khan, I'm not gonna disagree. I probably wouldn't. I'm sure he had good reason to feel that way.
Right.
But
So can we talk about what has been reported, and then we can
please,
give like
that's what I wanted
our
to comment
opinion.
on. Yeah.
Right. So the first article I got was back on July 27th when the show happened. So I don't think that's the exact date, but around the time the show happened.
No.
This is from Sportskeeda. I think I got a few of those tonight. This is from Max Everett. It says modified July 27th. So it said reported insight into the creative process between Tony Khan and AEW stars after falling out with former world champion. They're talking about Gresham. That's their way to pull you in because it says former world champion. That's their clickbait. Come on, let's be honest. It's their clickbait. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Following the alleged fallout between Jonathan Gresham and AEW President Tony Khan, further reports have emerged regarding the creative process of the promotion. Gresham seemingly spoke to fellow AEW wrestler and coach QT Marshall multiple times throughout last week, and the discussions went well. ROH producer Sanjay Dutt was also mentioned as another point of contact in the aforementioned situation. However, the former world champion's frustrations were reportedly aimed at his creative direction, which is a matter to be handled by Tony Khan. Rumors suggest that Gresham could not secure a meeting with the AEW president until hours before the July 23rd pay-per-view. Crazy. We know about him asking for his release. Fightful, another one of those sites, has indicated that the preferred process is for talent to communicate their grievances through one of their coaches. That's when they were called coaches at that time. We'll get into that a little later, who further relay them to Khan. Meanwhile, coaches also discuss creative ideas for talent, and the company's CEO takes the judgment call on the same. Names like QT Marshall, Christopher Daniels, and Pat Buck were earmarked as names often involved in such communication. Hold on. Let me keep reading here.
Yeah, man.
The same report also stated that some in All Elite Wrestling saw Gresham enter the meeting with his mind made up and visibly frustrated about the situation. Furthermore, there was seemingly a general disconnect between the involved parties over the star's creative direction. The former ROH World Champion also allegedly had disagreements over the duration of his match against Claudio at Death Before Dishonor. It was also reported that Gresham had hints about the bout's climax. However, it's still unclear if he was fully aware of the finish days before the event. It will be interesting to see what's next for the 34-year-old amidst the reported controversy. Wow. I did not know Gresham was 34. Okay, so to paraphrase what I just read, Gresham was hot already before he met with Tony Khan, because I could imagine trying to contact your boss, right? The guy who pays you, writes your checks, and you're trying to get an understanding of what's going on, and you can't hear from him.
But the crazy part is that you got to figure he's been getting paid for the last 3 months to do nothing but sit at home, which is also the bugged out part. But
yeah, that's true. But still, I mean, it is what it is. You want to get a direction. The only guy at the moment that can give you that direction is not talking to you. Why is he not talking to you? Because we've heard about this before. We heard about it with Joey Janela. Excuse me. Joey said he had no contact with AEW up for like the last 6 months. I forgot.
Yeah, but but I feel like a week or so ago, Joey has since amended and been like, well, I didn't attempt to contact him, and he kind of like baby faced it at the end of it for whatever.
Yeah, because he's trying not to burn any bridges. That's all.
Well, okay, yes, but I feel like he cleaned that comment up, because I read the same comment that you're bringing up, but he cleaned it up and was like, I didn't. Yeah, because remember, because he mentioned the Marco Stunt thing, and even because Marco Stunt was another person who commented on that, and the only people that really at this point have really left with sour taste like that were Big Swole and
Leo Rush.
What's the homie? Yeah, what's the homie that retires?
Leo Rush was in.
Tony Khan's the greatest. He's trash. He's the greatest boss ever.
Leo
Apologize.
Rush was there for not even a cup of coffee. He was there for a cup of espresso, bro. He wasn't even there long enough and got on the
No.
rap album and was out, right? Wasn't he on the rap album they made? And then see ya, right? Like he wasn't even there that much longer.
Or maybe they retire again? I don't know.
Listen, with Leo Rush, the best Leo Rush I saw was Lashley when he was Lashley's talker. It's the last good Leo Rush I seen, and that was it. But anyway, back on this. So we heard about the rumors of the big shouting match. It got ugly. Everybody's saying they can hear it and stuff. So I'm sure Gresham went in because it said in the article his mind was made up. So I'll tell you right now, if my mind's made up on something, I don't care how I address whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a keep it G real. Today I got time, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Today I got time, cuz. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Have you also heard the other fun little just tidbit to that story about him having his mind made up and today's a day? I ain't had time, but I got time today, cuz.
I got time today, cuz. What'd he say? What'd he do?
He walked in with the PWI magazine and showed Tony Khan where he was ranked in the PWI.
Stop. Nah, you made that up.
Look it up. Look it up.
No, I'm not.
It's been reported. It's been reported, sir. Sir, good sir. As a journalist, I encourage you to please go to the facts, go to the boards. They're there. He walked in with this copy. It was rumored he walked in with a copy of the PWI to argue about where he was placed in the PWI and why he deserved better.
Oh, Jonathan Gresham reportedly cited his PWI 500 ranking to argue that he should have been booked better by Tony Khan. Oh my God. This is from WrestleNews.co. Oh my God. Vern, are you telling me the people listening can't hear this right now, but if they can hear a sound, this is my rough hands rubbing my forehead.
He is just visibly frustrated, just grabbed the bridge of his eyes, just rubbing his eyeballs like someone pepper sprayed him. He just looks upset.
You're telling me, Vern, that this man took a ranking from a magazine and tried to use that as leverage for real life? A magazine ranking he took of a worked sport, because that's what this is. This is a worked sport, okay? He took a magazine ranking and said, look, Mr. Khan, let me grab my Game Informer. Look, Mr. Khan, look at where I am. Do I gotta look at number 38 or wherever I am?
Look who I beat. Look who I've beaten in this magazine.
I'm in front of Jeff Hardy. I'm in front of everybody
LA Park West.
Bro, when was the last time anybody took the PWI 500 serious? The 90s? Ever? The 80s, maybe?
When Kenny Omega won it, that they brought it up tonight on his return.
We'll get to that. Why'd you do that? We'll get to that.
You just asked me, so I'm telling you, it was brought in real time today. It was brought up.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one take on the PWI 500, and we're gonna go. I've never been one of the top 500 wrestlers ever, so I could care less. But I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people I know. There's a lot of people. Yeah, right. There's a lot of people I know that have been in the PWI 500 that do not give a shit about the PWI 500. It's cool when you're in there for the first time. It's like, oh, cool, I'm in the PWI 500. That's a cool accolade. But it doesn't matter. You can't tell me there's guys out there that go, got up my booking fee, I'm in the PWI 500 now. There's no way, Vern. Don't make that face at me. There's no way. There's guys out there that go, where am I? Ooh, 488. Got to bump it up $15. It's now $75 to book me, brother. 488 in the PWI.
Okay, all I'm saying is with Mr. Gresham, it's also the same guy that went on a podcast and argued to the fact that
let's talk
he didn't need a gimmick.
Yeah, let's get into that too.
That being and I only say that because he brought that in, right? That being black somehow required him to not like that being black predicated on the fact that like having a character, and he was pushing against the stereotype that being a black athlete meant you had to have a character. And while I honor that feeling, it was just like, but what are you basing that off of? Like, what are you saying that like every black like all wrestling are characters in some way, shape, or form, sir. Like,
right. So let me
to
say
say that you're somehow devoid of character and that being a tough guy, while it is a character, even a tough guy has some sense of character. It's not just I'm stoic, I'm quiet, I stretch you, and I walk away.
Who's the most over tough guy ever, in your opinion?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There you go. And that was a character. Still a character. He said it's himself turned up, but it's still a character. Remember, he was stunning Steve. He was the ringmaster, and he got to Stone Cold. He evolved to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay,
correct,
but it's all character. You can't. It's professional wrestling.
Yes, absolutely, Frank. But Frank Champion as a black wrestler, right? So let me not. I don't want to speak out. I don't want to speak out of town, right? As a black wrestler,
sure.
As a black wrestler, his comment, right? Why do black wrestlers need characters?
And, right, I was about to read that part too.
Yeah, please read it.
I'm not going to read the entire article. Yeah, I just want to read his quote. Okay, this is a quote that was pulled from a podcast he did, if I'm not mistaken. No, in an interview with Wrestle Purist. I'm not sure if that's an article or it's a YouTube channel, so it's probably a podcast episode like we're doing here. It said Gresham opened up about black talents needing to have a character in wrestling, and he admitted that it bothers him. All right, here we go. It quote unquote from Gresham. I'm gonna read it just like this. It bothers me that you can have a white guy, number one, with no character, and is great. Then you've got a black guy, same, but he needs a character. But why? Why can't he just be a good wrestler? He's got to be so much more than the other guys, so much more than the other guy that's world champion doesn't have a character. That sounds like reading that made my head hurt because there's like words missing. That's what's making my head hurt.
But I guess that's like because you feel like name names. Who are you talking about specifically? Because I'm trying to think of like who is he talking about?
I'd hate to do about race, but Gresham brought.
That's what I'm saying. I guess like he brought in race, and that's why I was like, I couldn't think of who he was discussing here. Like
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about Claudio. Is he talking about Claudio? Because Claudio doesn't have a real big character.
Wow.
Claudio is just a wrestler.
Did not consider that.
Okay. So here's my thing. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go. I love Claudio. Claudio Castagnoli. What's Claudio's European? He's a European man who speaks many languages. They tried that with the WWE to make that a character. It really didn't go nowhere. The part that
the James Bond thing was the most over thing he did.
The bar is the most over thing he did, in my opinion.
Well, okay, I'm thinking singles though. Singles wise, you would say that
yeah, when he came out and he used to come out right where
with the suit and all that, and isn't that where he developed the whole fist pumping thing?
It's kind of where he kind of got that there, but Claudio is a good example. Claudio's a good example in my opinion, but I feel like Claudio's in-ring makes up for his lack of mic skills.
But Claudio has a charisma about him.
Correct. Claudio has I feel like if Claudio enters the room,
charisma.
Claudio enters the room, your eyes will turn to who's that guy? You know what I mean? Like, because he's his physical stature, of course. Anybody over like 6'2", 6'3", I get it when I walk into rooms. I'm sure you get it when you walk into rooms.
People look at
people turn and look because you're a big guy. At 6'3", you're larger than average. That's what it is. He's about what 6'4", 6'5", if I'm not mistaken, Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a presence. He's a big man. He's a guy that's in shape. He's also probably one of the strongest dudes in professional wrestling. He's 6'5". He's legitimately one of the strongest dudes in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
The things he does in the ring are remarkable because of his strength.
Sure.
So I can see why he can get away with not having a character per se. Jonathan Gresham, you are 5'5" at best. Okay. There's a difference. And I'm not saying you're a 5'5" black man. He's a 6'5" white man. You are a 5'5" wrestler. You are the size of many average human beings. So you don't stick out. You didn't stick out when you were about 200 pounds. So you ballooned up to look a lot bigger than what you used to. But now he doesn't. It's just he's a big little guy. He's still 5'6", 5'5".
Looks like a He-Man action figure.
Right. He looks like a toy. He does look like a toy. You're absolutely 100% on that. He looks like a Master of the Universe action figure, 100%. He's in crazy shape. If he was 5'11", he might stand out more, but you're 5'6". You're 5'6". I know another guy that's about that height that his character is just being an underdog the entire time. His name's Rey Mysterio, and it gets over. But he gets over in ring by being the underdog and always trying to prevail from behind. You were 5'6", trying to wrestle 6'5" guys like you're 6'4". It doesn't resonate with everybody. 5'6". If he walked up to me and punched me in the face, I'm sure it'll hurt, of course. But in the world of professional wrestling, I'm supposed to no-sell stuff like that, right?
But you ever watch his matches though? Like I always find it so interesting, right? Like he's a guy who's side, but there's moments in the matches where he'll rely on his speed, he'll rely on being quick, and he'll do lucha spots. He'll do like the lucha hop, 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 hop.
Yeah,
like
a lot of the Johnny Saint 2 stuff he does.
Yeah, he'll do that stuff, and it's just kind of like, wait, but you want to be this big badass, but you're doing all the comedy lucha spots. Like he does, like I've seen him do midget spots, like midget spots, midget lucha spots, which whatever. But it's just like these are in your repertoire, but you want to be this silent badass killer,
right?
Which at the end of Ring of Honor when they had that stable, him, Josh Woods, and Rhett Titus. They were all wore suits and they were just like the shooters.
I forgot the name, but yes, I know what you're talking about. Which is weird on Rhett Titus because Rhett Titus was a whole character too, addicted to love.
But that was over, serious, straight laced,
and I stopped caring. I stopped caring. Addicted to love was over.
But like, even that was like, okay, so you're just prize fighters who dress in suits. You're tough guys. Like, it's weird. It's like the tough guy thing works, but it also just doesn't work for him.
Not everybody can be a tough guy. Not everybody
can be a silent badass. Like, what is the allure of I'm quiet and I just grunt? Do you grunt?
Okay.
Do you just?
I just had a question. I just have a question.
Yeah.
Another tough guy that's in AEW who every time he gets a promo, he's ready to fight everybody. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston.
Oh! I thought you were gonna say Harlan Bordeaux, or that Parker Bordeaux.
Oh God,
silent badass. Because I was like,
that'll be the first and last time he gets mentioned on the show. Unless, actually, we'll talk about him now. How he beat up a woman on TV for free. He beat up a woman. You didn't know that? He beat up a woman on television? No, who did he wrestle on Rampage? Who did he wrestle on Rampage last week?
I didn't see
He wrestled Sonny Kiss.
Oh, did he?
Sonny Kiss identifies together. Sonny, you didn't watch all of Rampage. Sonny Kiss identifies as a female, if I'm not mistaken. Because when they were doing commentary, they were saying she.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
So
okay, I didn't catch that.
To put your Lesnar over, you had him wrestle a woman, squash the woman, and then that woman joined their stable. So you beat on a woman, and the woman now is on your side. Is that a victim of come on, help me out here.
Domestic abuse?
No, when the hostage starts to get sympathy for their kidnapper. You know what that is. I forgot the name of that word. It's not Stockholm Syndrome?
It is Stockholm Syndrome. You start to sympathize with the kidnappers, yeah.
The dude beat you in 3 minutes live on television, your first time on TV, my lady, Sonny Kiss, okay? And then what do? You, I think, jumped Orange Cassidy from behind. She acted like she was going to be on Orange Cassidy's side. Orange Cassidy took a step forward, forearm to the back, or something like that, and then joined the stable. And now she's a part of the stable. And yeah. So,
I know it's part of the stable. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's the last time I want to talk about that dude. But anyway, this thing with Gresham where he says, why can't I just be a badass, quiet wrestler? First of all, quiet don't get you anywhere. Because when you're quiet, you need a talker, right? Am I right? If you can't talk, somebody's got to talk for you. Because in the world of professional wrestling, you've got to be able to talk. You have to be able to talk. You can't just be quiet. It doesn't work.
Man, watching CYN, yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Control your narrative.
Full circle. You have to have, because it doesn't always work, because when you have someone else talk for you, they have to have something worth saying. Because even though they're talking, it can literally just be words. And you can just go, okay, I'm still not into this.
Right.
Anyway, yes, but
But
I
you
hear what
got
you're
to be
saying.
able to talk, and you want to be a top guy. You want to be a top guy, right? In
Yeah.
any promotion, you want to be a top guy. You got to talk him into the building. In my opinion, it's funny because I was listening to the Busted Open today, and Tommy Dreamer actually had a good point. They
Sure.
were talking about, what are they talking about? They were talking about matches where the wrong wrestler won. And Dave
I heard the end of that segment. I didn't catch the beginning.
Okay, LaGreca's gripe was, why did Triple H beat Sting? That's neither here nor there. But what Dreamer said was, sometimes what matters is the eyes that are watching you, the eyes that see you. So
Sure.
in the eyes of whoever was running Sinclair's Ring of Honor, they saw Jonathan Gresham as a top guy. Because Jonathan Gresham fit that Ring of Honor mold. You don't need to be a talker. You just need to be a grappler. You got to be able to do all these cool-looking grappling moves and all that, and we'll put a belt on you.
But
okay.
So here's the thing with that, right? Here's the thing with that. But that's Ring of Honor, and that's Ring of Honor in like it's low as it's been, right? Like that's the thing.
Gresham since the pandemic, that Ring of Honor.
When did Gresham take over? Didn't Gresham take over in the pandemic?
In the pandemic, he was, I think, TV champion or pure champion first.
He was pure champion, where he put over the whole octopus thing, and then he won the title.
Yeah, and then he won the title, and he was taking the title everywhere when they were like, "Yo, we're not running shows anymore." He started taking the title everywhere and working a bunch of different places. But that's what they saw. So Tony is a new set of eyes.
Weird, man.
Tony's a new set of eyes, and Tony sees nothing. Tony sees nothing with you.
Apparently not.
It is what it is. If Tony sees nothing, so if I was working for Tony, right? If I was working for AEW and I went to QT Marshall or Christopher Daniels, and Christopher Curryman's like, you know what, brother? I talked to Tony about you so many times. He just doesn't see anything for you right now. You know what I'm doing? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to look at myself and I'm be like, okay, what do I need to do in order for the eyes that matter to pay attention to get me back on television?
Sure. Makes sense.
Now, that's what I would do and say, hey, I've got an idea. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this character? What do you guys think of this? Notice I said character because you still need a character in the world of professional wrestling. I don't even being a quiet badass is a character. I don't care what he says. It's like,
okay, so just not to take you off a random tangent, but so you because you brought up Busted Open, did you get a chance to listen to the Lana spot?
I did not. I told you I turned it off. I turned it off. I turned it off. Go ahead.
So how do you feel about that, right? So she's currently working in the movie industry.
She was before. She's an actress.
Okay. She's doing stunt work. That's her thing now. She's big into stunt work now.
Oh, she's a stunt work. She's a bumper now on movies. She's a movie bumper.
Stunt work.
Yeah, she's
so
movie
she says that she misses the most is she does action scene stuff. She misses the wrestling, and she laments that she never got to do more gimmick matches. Right. So when they said to her about going, remember that she did the thing where she was going through the table all the time with Nia?
Nia kept putting her through tables. Yeah, that was awesome.
And LaGreca and Tommy was like, that's BS. They did you dirt. And she was like, yo, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I loved it. I loved going through the table every single night. I looked forward to it every single night. I couldn't wait.
Good.
And they were like, it had no payoff. And they're like, she was like, I don't know what happened, but I mean, I wish you would have had a payoff. It could have been a ladder match or maybe a cage match or a cell match. Like I never got to do one of those. I really wanted to do one of those.
Why wouldn't it just been a table match?
Well, apparently Vince walked in the creative one day, walked in and just was like, we're done. We're done. Hey, you know what, Lana? No more table thing. We're done with that. You're just going to stand there and the other person will do all the work and then you're going to get the pin. And she was like,
"Oh, you talking about that Survivor Series match?"
Yes, yeah.
Wait, she didn't like that finish.
She was supposed to get her comeback in that match. The way she described it, allegedly, as she tells it, that she was supposed to get her comeuppance there and put the other girl through the table there. But then Vince walked in and just kiboshed the whole thing and said, "Don't do nothing. I don't want you doing anything. You just stand there, over. Get the pin."
It was it. She didn't even get the pin. She was the sole survivor. Of the Survivor Series,
or whatever, she was supposed to win. Yeah. They told her to stand on the apron. Just stand on the apron.
It was money because they gave okay. So what? She obviously does not understand.
And her response was like, I get it now that most people would have loved that spot, but like At the time, I just wanted to show that I trained and I wanted to show off all my training. And I felt that they weren't giving me a chance to show off my training.
So she's a greenhorn. She's a greenhorn because that's how greenhorns talk and think. The greenhorns learn how to do a sunset flip. They might be 370 pounds. They learn how to do a sunset flip. And they got to use that sunset flip in the match because I know how to do it now. I've got to use it. That's a greenhorn thought. Lana went in at one point in the match. She went in and she looked good. I was like, wow, Lana's doing her thing. And the whole heat was with Shayna and Nia. Nia tagged herself in and bullied her into the steps and said, don't move. Don't move from those steps. You're not getting back in this match. I don't want you in this match. Nia was the big bully. It went down to Nia and someone else, and they got counted out. They both got counted out at the end of the match. So that was the last person for that team, and Nia was the second to last for their team. So your winner of the match was Lana. She was the sole survivor. It didn't go anywhere. I don't think it went anywhere after that. But that was such a cool moment at a Survivor Series. What is she crying about? Like, what? I wish I could have done more. And I wanted to show him how I did my Hurricane Rana. Shut up, bro. Shut up. Like, oh, my God. Oh, my Lord.
I promise you, when she was saying, like, I love the tables. I loved going through them. It was so much fun. I was like, what? And then she was like, yo, big up to all the stunt workers out there. They're real heroes out there. And I was like, of course.
You know what?
And you know what? Also, she doesn't want to be on the other side. She doesn't want to be on that side of the camera anymore, brother. She's trying to get on this side.
She wants to be back in front of the fans.
My interpretation of when she was talking about the Julia Hart thing, because they were like, "Oh my God, I love the news." Called Julia Hart out on Twitter. Mickey was like, was marking out for her real quick. Excuse me, watch my language. Was M-wording out for her.
M-wording out.
And Tommy and them were all like, "Yeah, that was so edgy, whatever." And she was like, "Yo, that's how I really would act in real life. Like, yo, you better not. Like, that's my man. And yo, you don't understand. Y'all think I'm calm, but I would take my earrings off. Blah blah blah." And all my fans, they were like putting on, but if I could get a chance to go to AEW, I mean, I would love to. I would love to be there. I would love to, but I would slap the shit out that girl. She better chill with that. I would love to just work with her. And I would just, I would love to work with her and just be a part of that and just to be back in front of the camera. Like, it was weird.
The Redeemer. There's only one woman that can touch the Redeemer.
He didn't tell her about that, so she found out live. Her reaction to that was live. To like when she tweeted that was her Twitter thing. Was loose, so she was just like, she was half in a drink, so Twitter things was kind of loose, and she let that off. Clack 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 clack.
Can we get back to Gresham now, please?
Okay, but
let's talk about Gresham and then
all to say, what a weird interview, because to hear her response and then to hear her just be lament, like, wow, I miss being put through tables. I was like, what a weird experience they must have had. 8 years. 8 years.
8 years? Yo, Vern, they came out in a tank. Don't ever forget that. They came out in a tank and worked John Cena at WrestleMania.
8 years.
That right there was the peak of that gimmick. That was the mountaintop of that gimmick. I worked from barefoot, coming out in the Rumble as a nobody. Remember that? He came out as number 3, Rusev. Alexander Rusev. We're like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Just barefoot.
I forgot about the Alexander Rusev. I was like,
barefoot. Barefoot in the Rumble.
Wasn't he? No, he wasn't. I'm thinking of the other Russian guy. I was like, wasn't it a karate gimmick at one point? But I'm like, that was
sort of. He'd always have his hands out, but you must be thinking of someone else.
I'm thinking of Vladimir Kozlov. Remember when he came out in the gi?
Him and Santino were a team for a while. Oh my gosh. And he was doing the gimmick with Santino. Oh my Lord. Yo, the WWE will change you quick. They do not care.
What a wild time to think about some of those weird gimmicks. Anyway.
Right. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to Gresham, please.
But Gresham, back to Gresham. Gresham, we're saying all these things. Look, the guy can wrestle. That's the part that kills me. He can do all the moves, make it look painful. He can do some of the lucha stuff. What's this? I don't need a character. I'm sorry.
Yes,
that is as bland as brown rice and boiled chicken.
Oh God,
he is brown rice and boiled chicken.
My throat's dried. I just said that. My throat's.
I'm just saying, like, it's not unhealthy. It's not poor for your health.
Oh,
but doesn't
it's
taste
just
like
that
much, and it'll feed you. It'll give you some nutrients. I'm not saying it's
boiled
not
chicken.
food, but
Ugh. Ugh.
why? If you have all these
Ah.
other options, why would you do that to yourself? And I just feel
My
like Gresham at this point, Gresham became boiled chicken.
my dog
It
used to
worked
love
in the
boiled chicken.
pandemic. He helped to reorient us and reteach us the rules of Ring of Honor. But like,
Right.
but like, unfortunately, like Drew was someone who did not fall victim to that. He was able to, at the moment, it looks like he's climbing out of that, victim of the pandemic. But I think Gresham was able to cook and flourish in the pandemic. It's post-pandemic. Let it go. It's not for you.
The thing is, you could, I think during pandemic wrestling, you can sort of get away with not having to have a character because
The work rate mattered. You were listening to guys go,
what you call it? You said work rate? Did you just use the word work rate?
oh yeah, that made up term mattered because that's when think about it. Why does he become the guy? Because he's the guy who can go in there and stretch you.
Right.
There's no one watching, so it would be fun to watch one guy who can manipulate your joints and fingers and go up, 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 up,
Yeah.
up. But
All
now
right,
that
so
there's a live crowd of people watching, I don't want to watch
what does Gresham do to connect to the people? That's the whole point of a character. You need to connect to the people that are sitting out there paying 30 to over $1,000 to sit wherever they're sitting, and they want to be entertained. I get it. You look cool. You come out with your octopus mask. You come out with a flag. You come out in your nice ring jacket. That's nice, because if you didn't have character, you wouldn't call
Which, by the
yourself
way,
the octopus.
and that ring jacket has a Naruto whatever. It's got nerdy stuff in it. So you
He's a
have
weeb.
some of this.
He's a
Yes.
weeb. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's anime. Then like it's like you have some of this stuff. Just tap into that in some way. Clearly, you include it into your ring gear.
You can take one of your favorite characters from that anime, implement it in yourself, and make it your own. Boom, character.
Something. God.
So the one thing I did want to talk about this. I didn't want to just go on about Gresham for the
I know.
whole time.
I didn't either.
It was,
but
but
a
no,
result
it
of
made
this.
But right.
Because this, we talked about this off air, but we got to bring this back up. The result and the fallout of this situation. This is the first time we've gotten the true, like the other side of the story, and like both sides finally spoke out about the fact that something actually bad happened at AEW.
Right.
It wasn't all puppy dogs and sunshine.
Oh,
it wasn't all best
let
friends.
them tell it. Let the articles tell it. Everybody's hugging everybody.
It wasn't White
loves
Claws
each
and
other.
Korean barbecue. Exactly. It was like,
oh, there's turmoil. Oh, wow. People don't like each other in wrestling? No way. Like,
here we go. And please, and so what's been reported?
Okay,
what's been reported about Tony Khan and who Tony Khan really is, because to this point, Tony Khan is Saint Benevolent Khan, who blesses us with bangers and dream matches on a weekly basis. Thank you, Saint Khan.
Right. So let's talk about Saint Khan. Potential. This was another one by Sportskeeda. Shout out to them today. Potential details on Tony Khan being quote unquote unprofessional backstage in AEW, called worse than Vince McMahon. Another one by Max Everett. My man Max has been working. It has been reported that Tony Khan has been unprofessional backstage in AEW, with comparisons even being made to recently retired WWE chairman Vince McMahon. Ringside News states that Tony Khan's behavior backstage has become an issue, having apparently also been told that he oversteps the mark with how he talks to commentary via headsets on a regular basis. Ringside News alleges that a source with direct knowledge has said that in the past month, Tony Khan has become impossible for anyone to deal with. It's also said that the source made comparisons to Vince McMahon, even going as far as to say Tony Khan was comparatively worse. The report goes on to claim that those who have previously worked with Vince in WWE have said that Khan is much worse than Vince ever was. The source is said to describe unprofessionalism as compared to another WWE higher-up, Kevin Dunn, who notoriously yelled at and mocked people over the headsets. The report concludes by saying Tony Khan was allegedly going off during the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view. Death Before Dishonor event on the 23rd of July. Fightful Select previously reported that before the event, Khan and Gresham, this is what we were just talking about. Gresham was asked for his release that night. There's a Jack Evans. quote. I'll read the Jack Evans quote quick because he was on a podcast. He said, he was just talking about his experience with Tony Khan and him as a boss. He said, I really liked it. It was great experience. Tony was a great boss. The only complaint I could ever make about Tony for sure is he is like the king of last minute mind changes, Jack Evans said. And then he starts talking about comparisons with Vince McMahon. So yeah,
I'm sorry,
this is about
Jack Evans worked for Vince?
Yeah, I don't know how he could say comparing to Vince McMahon, but I'm sure whoever he was talking to was trying to push that narrative. You know what I mean? They were trying to push, oh, well, is he better than is he worse than Vince McMahon? And then Jack Evans is probably like, well, I ain't never worked for dude, but if you want an answer, from what I've heard,
I mean, has he ever worked for? I don't think he's ever worked for. Has he ever been an extra for Vince?
I've never seen him on TV. Maybe during like those SmackDown years we weren't watching, SmackDown and Raw years we weren't watching.
Okay.
Big brand splits. I don't know. As far as I know, Jack Evans, Mexico and Indies, PWG. You know what I mean? That's really it. So I've never seen him on TV unless he bumped for somebody in a dark match. God. I don't know. I saw a picture the other day that had a bunch of guys I had never known they worked dark matches. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but it just popped up in my head right now. But this is the first time we've heard it, Vern. Somebody says Tony Khan isn't all peaches and roses and bubble gum and candy and whatever else sweet things you want to talk about. Tony Khan is sort of a dick backstage, I guess. That's what they're trying to say.
If you've ever watched or seen or watch or listen to the media scrums, that frantic energy of his when he's yelling and you ask him one question and he tells you like a 90-minute answer to one, and you're like, how are you? And by the time you're done, he's like, he's yelled at you, or what the heck was it? Was the infamous outburst? Are you muted?
Oh, I'm still muted. Whoops,
you were muted. Okay,
I was muted. I had to clear my throat. I didn't want it to come up on the mic. I never unmuted it.
Copy. No, but back to the what was it after the last pay-per-view when he was like freaking out? Remember the Jerry McDivitt thing? About Jerry McDivitt, he had him in court. We beat him. Right? All that crazy energy, and then you find out, well, they beat them for 15 minutes in the demo for 15 minutes.
Yeah, but that's probably the same energy he keeps backstage the entire night.
And that like, this is effing BS. Eric Bischoff, that's a BS take. That's effing BS. Remember how mad he got with Punk, and Punk was like, all right, dude, relax. I could imagine that's the same dude yelling in a headset, put over the pay-per-view, put over every 2 seconds. Tell Orange Cassidy's so funny. I could imagine that's who gives Tony Schiavone feedback. Tony Schiavone never says anything.
I think he's in Excalibur's ear.
Oh, 100%.
I think he's in Excalibur's ear because Excalibur, which is, don't get me wrong, I like Excalibur. Their booth makes no sense.
I like PWG Excalibur. I don't like AEW Excalibur.
Right. I like good take there. Very good take. The booth doesn't make any sense. It's 3 play-by-play guys. Jim Ross is a play-by-play guy. Tony Schiavone is a play-by-play guy. Excalibur's the play-by-play guy. There's 3 play-by-play guys. You need play.
But Excalibur was also your color guy remember PWG. He was also try to be your color guy.
Well, in PWG, I'm talking AEW Excalibur.
He tries sometimes, but it just falls flat. No. I always feel like it falls flat on his face.
Excalibur calls the matches, bro. If you're
listening, but that's what I'm saying. But when you listen to commentary, he tries at times to do color. That's what I'm saying. It falls, and it doesn't
make sense because
it never does.
Has a role. It's 3 play-by-play guys. It needs.
Well,
this is
I
why
feel like
they need
Taz
to have
adds color. When Taz is on, he adds color.
Taz is a color guy. That's why Taz was the color guy for WWE. That was his job. He's in TNA. I think the best 2-man booth TNA had, besides Tenay and my man Don West, was Tenay and Taz.
Well, the team now is Taz, Excalibur, and they got rid of Tony. No, Tony's gone, and isn't it Taz?
It's Taz, I think, more in there because they dispersed his team, so now they're paying him. They got to use him for something else. So now he's on the commentary team, and it works more. Tony's 100%. More of the backstage interview guy now, which, you know what? I'm okay with. I never really rocked with Tony Schiavone anyway since WCW
What,
days.
you mean he wasn't the voice of your youth? You're not going to retcon history and act like you were a big Tony Schiavone fan?
I don't know why people put Schiavone over. I think it's because they hear him on the podcast with Conrad and they like him or something.
It's you know why? Because I honestly I think it's the power. I truly think it's the power of memes. The biggest night in WCW, that like the biggest night in sports entertainment. That whole joke about Tony Schiavone saying tonight's the biggest night in pro wrestling history.
Yeah,
tonight's the biggest night. That's it. I think you had this whole message board group of kids who were gifs and memes, and Tony Schiavone's a walking meme.
Yeah,
and then he starts telling dick stories, and next thing you know, he on a podcast.
People like him. I never.
He scratches that childish itch. He scratches that juvenile dick joke itch.
Schiavone was never educated in what he was doing. He was a play-by-play guy and didn't know the names of the moves that he was calling out. And it used to irk me. It used to irk me. Even as a child, I'd be like, dude, that's not a Hurricane Rana. That is something else, whatever it is. But he'd call, with the corkscrew planche on the outside. I'm like, bro, he just did a dive. Like, you need to know what you're talking about if you're going to be the play-by-play guy. And he's not a color guy because he barely says anything. So it's good to take him off. Jim Ross, what's he say?
Ho, ho, ho!
It's Sting! That's like all he gets. That's all he gets. It's Sting! Like, come on, bro. Come on. Terrible. Jim Ross, as much as I love Jim Ross is in the wrong role. Let Jim Ross call the play-by-play. He's the play-by-play guy. You literally have Jim Ross. Let him be the play-by-play guy. The man's been calling it correctly for God knows how many years. Why change it? Jim Ross seems lost as well. But
I remember he learned from Bill Watts, one of the greatest announcers ever. He learned from the Cowboy.
If it was me, my two-man booth would be Jim Ross, Taz. Maybe they don't want SmackDown 2007 or 2008, whatever it was. But out of all your rostered commentators, Jim Ross, Taz. Those are your two best right there. You've got your play-by-play. You've got your color commentary. Find something else for Excalibur to do. We'll see when them contracts start expiring. Who stays?
I don't see the Young Bucks biffle not being ever in that chair. I see Jim Ross being out before their biffles out that chair.
I believe it.
So
is that best friends for life? Is that what that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were talking about how unprofessional Tony Khan is, right? So Tony Khan was looked at as being a dick backstage. This article came out after the rumored argument with Jonathan Gresham. So there's some traction behind what they're talking about. If Gresham went in there angry, cussing out Tony Khan, and there was a shouting match, then obviously there's some truth behind it. So I look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and just the other story to add to that we didn't report, you didn't have the article for, but that there also is allegedly a story out there that Tony Khan shouting got so bad, someone walks off, and then Tony runs up and begs them to please stay. And if he stayed, Tony Khan promised changes. And I believe you got the article about those changes.
Correct.
Changes were made, but these changes, again, only allegedly, they came only because someone just said, F it, I'm gone. I'm done with this. I can't put up with this anymore. And Tony begged them, please give me another chance. I'm going to change. And this was a direct result of that. So just to add a little more context there.
So my guess is, okay, let's play timeline real quick, Vern.
Sure.
Whoops, hold on. Let's play timeline. Why is the calendar not popping up? That was weird. So Death Before Dishonor was Saturday, July 23rd. Okay. July 23rd. Dynamite was July 27th. Okay. 4 days later. My guess is that argument or that shouting match happened then where the person walked out and he begged for him to stay. This tweet I'm about to read is from a week later, right? Because the only time AEW's live, is on Wednesdays and pay-per-views, right? It's the only time they're live.
Yeah, they don't get together.
Else.
Yeah, you're right. They don't get together.
They tape everything else. They're only live on Wednesdays. The only time they're around each other is Wednesdays. Wednesday, because they're there for the whole day while they're doing their thing. This happened the following Wednesday after the 27th, August 3rd. So I'm going to read this. I think I'm going to be quick on this.
Sure.
I'm just going to read the header, and I'm going to read who is in what roles. AEW announces expansion of talent relations and development team. Roles for Sanjay Dutt, QT Marshall, Pat Buck, and Tony Schiavone will increase under expanded talent relations team. Madison Rain joining to coach women's division. This again, August 3rd. AEW CEO, GM, and head of creative, Tony Khan, announced an expansion to AEW's talent relations team with the promotion of key staff members, including Sanjay Dutt, QT Marshall, Pat Buck, and Tony Schiavone. In addition, Madison Rain will join AEW as a coach in the women's division. As AEW continues its meteoric rise, you see me rolling my eyes while I read this, the expanded talent relations team will strengthen the infrastructure required to facilitate the development, health, and safety of AEW's outstanding roster. The following promotions and additions are effective immediately. Sanjay Dutt gets promoted to Vice President of Production and Creative Coordination, which probably makes him like a Nick Khan to Tony's Vince. Vice President of Production and Creative Coordination. That sounds like if that's not that, then he's a runner for Tony Khan's ideas. Creative coordination. That means you make sure whatever it was thought up gets done correctly the way it was thought up. And Vice President of Production, you're helping with the TV side of things, okay? So QT Marshall is Vice President of Show and Creative Coordination.
Shout out to him getting himself that job, man. Good for him.
It sounds like the same job, except a different title name.
No, I'm saying, but shout out to him getting a job as an exec in AEW, man. From a guy I managed at a daggone random gym and
random indie show, right? Yeah,
a random indie show, and he's now an exec at AEW. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Okay, we got Pat Buck. He got promoted to Vice President of Talent Development. So my guess is, it says he's going to be the liaison with talent and production. And he's the head of all the coaches. And he's going to be the input on Matt Seal. He's going to be the critique guy. Schiavone is the senior producer and special advisor to talent. Okay, so he's head of talent relations almost, pretty much, I guess. Yeah. Special advisor, that's an NFL term he's using right there. So I don't know if you know about this.
Nope.
There's some times, right, where a coach gets released. Let's say, you know, the Giants, you remember Tom Coughlin won some championships, won some Super Bowls. He got released. He got let go by the Giants, and he went along, and I believe he was a special advisor for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's like you're a coach of the Jaguars, but not really.
Yeah.
If the coach needs help, they can lean on they can go to Tom Coughlin for advice for things to run a certain way. That's what a special advisor is in the NFL. Okay. So I don't know how that translates for WWE, for AEW. No idea, but we're going to keep it pushing. Madison Rain, coach of the women's division. They call it coach. Do they actually train? What are you coaching? Are you coaching the day of? Let me read what it says. Okay. It doesn't even explain her role as coach. It just says what she's done and her accolades.
Yeah.
And she's a proud mom and to a daughter.
Sounds about right. Very AEW.
So I don't know about you, Vern, but I look at it like this. This was the response, like you said, to what had been going on the past few weeks. So if you can't tell me none of this stuff isn't true that happened. Some stuff might be exaggerated, but Tony Khan was getting out of control, and this was his response to try to alleviate the weight that's on his shoulders. I got too much going on. It's stressing me out. I'm taking it out on everybody. I've got these people behind me, around me. Let me use it. Let me use it. Is that what you get from that?
100%. 100%. I mean, it's all one can gather based on what we have. Like,
right.
Like all that energy. Someone finally had enough. Someone finally was like, "All right, bro, you got to relax."
I think people had enough a minute ago, but somebody was just not happy, but like brave enough to say something about it. Maybe that was it. Maybe they said Forget your
I'm
paycheck.
happy. I'm just happy to finally hear some truth coming out, right, about Saint Khan.
Right.
Not even trying to be like, oh, I'm glad it's something bad. But it's just like, man, okay, he's human, like the rest of us.
Right.
Like, we're done. We're
Because
done. Maybe the honeymoon period is over with the world being blind to what AW is.
it's 3 years now. We're out of the pandemic wrestling. Tony was put on this pedestal, man. He was up here. Tony could do no wrong. Tony's delivering what we want.
Booker of the year,
Booker
2
of the
years
year.
in a row.
By that same place that does the 500 best wrestlers in the world, whatever. But they would say it, man. Tony can't do no wrong. Tony's the best. Tony this, Tony that. And now here we are. Tony's a human. Tony's a human. You can't do it all by yourself. Tony's got a team now. Do you think the team? Don't fall asleep on me, Vern. Wake up. Wake up, sir.
That was the deep one.
So do you think Tony? Now I forgot what I was going to say to you. Do you think Tony got it right with some of these people he put in these positions, like Sanjay Dutt and QT Marshall? Are there some other names he probably should have put on there?
I mean, so all I'm gonna say is this: you promoted the people from within, right?
Sure.
So, how's the product doing currently? It can't get worse. I mean, it can't get worse. Let me not say that. It can't get worse. But I just feel like you're promoting people from within, wrestling people. And the biggest complaint I've had about Tony is that Tony's, and self-admittedly, he's just a fan. He's a fan. He books wrestling like a fan. He treats the wrestlers like a fan.
Yep.
He treats the company like a fan. He treats the company like a kid, and these are his toys.
Yeah, those are his action figures sitting in his bin, like my daughter's.
Yeah, so I think having help and putting people in official capacities that say, "Hey, this is now yours."
Yeah, do what
You
you
run
do.
this.
What you
Do something with it. At least, hopefully, we won't hear any more stories about people not getting calls, people not having, communication to say things like that. Maybe to remedy some of that. This won't help creative, but maybe he'll sleep some. He'll sleep some, and we won't hear these every Wednesday. We won't get to have to hear about. Oh man, Wednesdays and Tony time.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you get a chance to hear Tony time today?
Stop. We're not going to talk about Tony time, are we?
Did you get a chance to hear Tony time?
I
just
did not.
One thing.
I turned it
one
off.
Thing. I want one thing. Okay.
Before you do that.
All right. After this, because you brought up Tony, and we're talking about him, and go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, since that has been announced, main events have had more time at the end of the show.
Yep.
So kudos to AEW for doing that, for getting that right.
But kudos to AEW to do that. But I honestly think, I truly in my heart believe that Tony is doing he's scrambling right now. And I think with the recent love fest the world has had with the Fed, I think TK's feeling worried. And that just made me speculate. This is me reading into it.
We're going to get to that in a little bit.
He's feeling worried. And I think that he figured, okay, the Fed's running longer matches. We got to run longer matches.
Yeah, we got to match that.
I think he's doing. Yes, I don't think he's doing. We're doing my thing. I think he's doing. What are they doing over there? People are starting to love that. We got to
take that back from him. Yeah,
because man, NXT yesterday drew 700,000.
Yeah,
NXT that people months ago were saying should get canceled.
2.0 is terrible.
Canceled,
the rainbow
400,000. This is ridiculous. It's not going to draw nothing. They drew 700,000. I think Rampage drew,
and it was a culmination. I didn't watch it, but it was a culmination of the Santos Escobar.
Oh man,
I haven't watched it yet, but I want.
How bugged were you? That's King Cuerno. How bugged were you today when I told you that?
I knew it was King Cuerno.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that. No, until today.
I knew it by. You probably found out by looking it up, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I had looked it up to see how old he was,
and I'm like,
yeah. I had looked to see how old he was, and I was like, wow, he's almost 40. And I'm looking at names. I was like, he was King Cuerno. I was like, wow,
bruh. My mind was blown. My mind was blown that was King Cuerno.
Yeah,
mine was blown.
It was crazy. But so what do you tell me about this Tony time thing so we can go into tonight's Dynamite and what we saw today?
Okay, no. All right, so just real quick about Tony, about why I'm telling you what I believe is like he's starting to lose it.
Okay.
Today on Tony time, this is a direct quote. Tony Khan says a lot of people compare him to Paul Heyman. Today on the radio, the direct quote, the person I think I get compared to most often of, you remind me of this person. I think we're really different people, is Paul Heyman. I grew up on that ECW stuff. Our products are different. He's a genius, and I'm not trying to compare the mindset at all. I've gotten to learn a lot from a lot of people in the wrestling business without having the official apprenticeship.
Did he just compare him? Did he just take the comparison of Paul Heyman and low key agree with that? Is that what I just heard?
You heard his words, sir. I was live texting it to you, but I had to go back and get it word for word so I could say it to you live tonight. How do you feel about Mr. Khan? And you got to hear the whole segment, the way he brought it up, because it was very like nonchalant.
I'm gonna hear it tomorrow morning.
You know how guys, you know how guys compare me, and it's just like, hey Frank, you know how guys compare me to Hulk Hogan? Guys always like, hey, you're so over Vern, you're so over Vern. You were like just like Hogan. You know how guys always say that about me, but I'm like, not always.
Nah. There's no way, bro. Who has said that? First of all,
again, the same people that said Vern and Bobby Heenan. I don't know. You gotta. If I had to choose one, it's a tough call.
Brother.
The same people that said Vern and Bobby Heenan.
Brother, Tony Khan is an ECW fanboy.
He was at. I believe he also said today he admitted that he has a picture of himself at an ECW show that he likes to send his father to remind him, you took me there, Papa. You allowed me to be in the ECW arena.
Yeah, when he was like 14. I remember that story when he first started doing media stuff for AEW.
Love to
he
tell
said he was
today.
like 14 years old or something.
And
he
went to the pay-per-view. He went to Heat Wave.
His dad took him, and his dad had no idea what to experience, but he was a tape trader, so he had seen ECW, and he was a huge mark for ECW because he's around our age, if I'm not mistaken. He's around our age, so he was there. He grew up Attitude Era, ECW prominence, NWO prominence, so you can see it in his product. He tries his best to give you shock value.
Much, though. Yeah, you see it too much. Yeah.
It's too much shocks, too much turns, too much twists, not enough development to then get us there. It's just, okay, let's turn them now. They've been together long enough. Turn them.
So here's my question. Do you think that, or my thought, I guess, not my question, or yeah, sure, whatever this is. Do you think that he said that Paul Heyman thing because he used to compare himself to Eric Bischoff, right? And then remember Bischoff was like, yo, cut that. No more. If I catch you saying my name in these streets again, like, I'm going to see you, right? Like, Bischoff was basically like, we're going to. So he says it about Heyman. He's not going to compare himself to Cornette.
No.
Right? He has said that Cornette was my teacher. And Cornette has been like, what? Because Cornette taught him how to book watching his show.
What show?
Watching OVW? Smoky Mountain. He alleges watching Jim Cornette, watching Smoky Mountain and watching Jim Cornette as a tag team that somehow taught him the wrestling business. I don't know.
Okay.
But and then today he also said that, like, sitting in the cars with other wrestlers, they're helping teaching him the wrestling business.
So he's just just a greenhorn who's riding in the cars with veterans, listening to their stories.
It was the weird. Today's of all days was like, why didn't you listen to Tony time today? Because today was the weirdest Tony time.
I'll hear it in the morning tomorrow when I'm on the way to work.
It was just listen because it's just a weird, like, his energy was different. But when he compared himself to Paul Heyman, I almost threw my phone against the wall because I was like, what universe are you living in right now?
Tony Khan, don't ever compare yourself to one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling.
Yes. I'm not saying I'm Batman. I'm just saying we've never been in the same room with each other. Leaving it at that.
Exactly. Like, bro, Paul Heyman is an absolute genius. Since the 80s when it comes to this wrestling stuff. When he was Paul E. Dangerously running around in WCW.
Lied his way to get in the business, and he made it in.
Right. Did he start
booking nightclub shows?
Yeah.
the boys down there to do fake, but doing parties and stuff for awards. Yep,
There's
he was
like,
doing
come
it.
on,
Paulie's
bro.
story is crazy.
You can't, don't compare. Stop, brother. Stop. Let's stop. Let's go on about Tony's product. Let's move on. We've been an hour. I figured that's how long it was going to take to talk about all this. Talk about Tony and his rebuttal and all this stuff. Good thing we don't have a lot of things to talk about this week because we already went an hour. We went an hour, brother. We went in an hour. We should get booked as the top guy for Ring of Honor. Come on now.
No, pretty much. We just guaranteed ourselves contracts. So
that's right. So let's talk about AEW Dynamite that just happened. Kenny Omega returned. What did you think about the Omega return? I saw a piece of it and then it got cut out for me. But I think I saw enough, and I seen some of the tweets AEW let out. So you give me your take on.
I'll say this: I was not. I mean, I heard a little rumors about Kenny Omega coming back. I don't. When it comes to returns, etc., I don't really care. So I don't really look too much into the news. So the fact that people had signs is like, okay, so this wasn't secret. And so when he came out, Justin Roberts got handed a note, and Justin Roberts goes.
No, he
and starts doing this introduction, and he mentions the PWI. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in this. He's held the belt AEW title for this many days. He resides in North Carolina. I was like, oh God. And he came out and didn't look good to me. He looked like a guy wearing a buff shirt.
He still looked hurt. Hurt.
He looks hurt. That's what it is. He looks hurt to me. He didn't look comfortable. He looked like he was happy to be there, that he was working out, but like he looked like he was ready for a practice match in front of nobody, while everyone else in there was working their butts off like they were at a live show.
Right. So he looked a step behind. Which
is fine. And Don Callis was like, oh, he's got to get the ring rust off. He did his spot where he does the over the shoulders front flip and he lands on his feet, right? Did the spot, didn't land on his feet, landed right on his butt. Just went over, died right there. Didn't spring up nothing. No spring to a step. And he legit just chuckled and was just like, ha 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 ha. It was weird. It was just strange. It never felt like Kenny. It never felt like Kenny kicked it in. Like there were moments where it looked like he tried, but he visibly looked in pain. It looked like he was. If he was selling, he has me convinced thoroughly.
Got you. He got you. So let me ask you this.
Yeah, man.
Kenny Omega, one of the top AEW champions, right?
Of the 4 or 5 that they've had.
Of the 5 that they've had, right? Let's say 5. Kenny Omega has been gone for almost a year. Am I correct? Moxley, Jericho, 5. Moxley, 5. Omega,
Page.
Am I missing? Page, Punk.
CM Punk.
So one of the biggest champions they've had, right? I'll give AEW that for the most part. They let their champions breathe with the belt for a bit. I know they do that for a bit.
See, but I feel like so can I just say I don't think that's true.
You don't think
only because you're talking you watched AEW through a pandemic. Everyone remembers AEW through a pandemic when we're watching AEW with a live crowd, and finally they're in the groove and been left to their own devices. That's what I feel like. This is really what AEW is what we're watching now.
True.
The pandemic AEW, I think, was.
I wasn't watching that.
It gave everyone the honeymoon. I think the honeymoon's over. The honeymoon's over. I think people are finally, not people, but I think it's getting harder to overlook these things. It's getting harder to go, that's just Tony being Tony. I think it's getting more difficult. And this week's booking decision and announcing and giving away a WCW level type match in terms of just let's give it away for free on TV, which I'm sure he wants to pop a big rating, and you'll announce the match in a second, and you're going to announce it with the same shock. I'm sure that's what the joy is, right? The idea is going to be pop a rating. Raw just did almost 2 million yesterday or Monday. It almost did 2 million.
I bet. I bet.
So I'm sure TK is sweating bullets thinking I need to pop a rating. So he's giving away the pay-per-view main event for free, which is
Punk versus Moxley next week on AEW Dynamite for free. The week before your pay-per-view. Okay, so
the week before the pay-per-view gives a match because the announcer said, Excalibur said it, and I'm sure it was Tony in his ear. They're so mad at each other. They just can't wait.
That's what contract signings are for. So they have to wait. Is that not
the company that has contract signings like on a weekly basis? Nope, don't need one for this match. Just do the match. Just do the match.
Okay,
They did that promo tonight where they broke that fourth wall. You know how AEW promos. Yeah, the Wild West brother. Got to get shooty out there.
I can't wait till we're done with this and I go upstairs and I start watching this stuff on the replay.
You won't last.
You think I'm gonna fall asleep?
Oh, Xanax, you're done. You're gonna hit Lake Havassoma in a second. You're gonna be on Lake Havassoma up there drooling on yourself. Yeah, no, you're done.
Okay, so it's Punk. Okay, I didn't see it.
I did
see tension. I saw
exactly. I didn't see the promos.
I saw the tension. That's why I want to watch it live. So I don't want to bury it. But this is the idea I'm getting so far. Right? Is my audio good right now? Because I'm getting
yes, your audio is good.
Okay. So Punk versus Moxley. Punk gets hurt. Punk can't wrestle. You come up with an interim title. Moxley becomes that interim champion. Calls himself the real champion. Hey, have they showed 2 belts yet?
Yeah, tonight Punk came back with the second belt.
Okay, I wanted to know if they didn't, because if they only showed up with 1 belt, then they only had 1 belt this whole time. Because he didn't show up with a belt when he came back. Yeah, I was gonna say, ooh, that's no good. That's no good. So, okay, so you announce Punk versus Moxley a week before the pay-per-view,
and allegedly it was a shoot. It was live. The commentary put it over, and all of them were just like, what the? They all were just kind of like, and it was just that moment of like shock. And then afterwards, when they got a chance to think about it, JR was like, sorry, folks, we were caught off guard.
So that is your match for your main event next week. So my only thought, Vern, is,
will it be a 1-match show?
No, not Dynamite, sir.
Kind of like how they do Blood and Guts. It becomes pretty much a 1-match show. They have 3 prelim matches, and then you got that one.
You think they're going to go an hour? You think they're going to go an hour? They're going to start at 9. Entrance is done by 9:15 after commercials, and they're going to go 45 minutes picture in picture. Punk and Moxley.
You're going to give away a match for free. You're not going to let them go an hour at least?
I will see this. This is me. I still need to sell my pay-per-view. Okay. I don't have a main event for my pay-per-view, Vern. I don't have a pay-per-view for a main event. I mean, I don't have a main event for my pay-per-view. This is what I would do, but I know this is not going to happen on AEW television. Punk and Moxley work a match, right? Not far, not into the deep waters, sir. Not into the deep waters. Something happens where it gets counted out, it gets schmozzed, gets DQ'd, and then you announce it for your pay-per-view. Since it didn't get settled on television, it needs to get pushed to the pay-per-view for it.
You know what? That actually may make sense because it's a company that never, ever, ever does DQ finishes, except when they conveniently pretend that they have rules. So maybe that'll be the route they go, and they'll reinforce the rules.
Bro. But what is the main event for All Out? What will be the main event for All Out? Let's say this match plays out as is. Punk goes over on Moxley. Okay, are you going to announce your match on the go home of Dynamite?
No, I'm pretty sure
the person who's going to work Punk.
But Punk said he wants a rematch with Cowboy.
What?
He wants a rematch. He wants to give him his rematch because he didn't get a chance to give him his rematch.
Not at all out.
No. I'm saying, but that I'm thinking if you get Moxley and this guy to next week, that may be the fallback matches. Then it becomes the Adam Page rematch.
Oh my God!
I'm making this up like you. I'm just making it up. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
It makes my head hurt. No,
but it's the only thing that makes sense.
Because the way I've thought of it, my thought process is of a person who understands professional wrestling. Your thought process is of an AEW fan who wants to see stuff like that.
Booking. It's
right.
everything is dream matches. God forbid anything has a. God forbid anything breeds a turn.
Right.
I go back to Jurassic Express and the dinosaur who turned for 2 weeks.
Turned for 2 weeks, and then he turned back to being a good guy. Who wrote
but
that?
He still wears all black. He still wears all black. He still is actively healing out the people he faces.
Squash matches and stuff like that.
But he's a good guy though.
Bro.
Remember, he wasn't really a bad guy. He was just keeping Christian Cage safe so Jungle Boy could be the first one to get him.
Dude, I just don't get. Listen, I want him. I want them to succeed. I want to see AEW succeed.
Oh, I agree. I like knowing the boys are getting paid. I like knowing the boys have a place to make money. The more
places to work on television, the better. Because without AEW, there's a lot of guys that I know in this indie scene out here that would have never had an opportunity to be on TV. My boy bumped for Wardlow.
Yeah.
My boy BRG bumped for Wardlow. My boy Channing Thomas was in a promo with Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston. He stood there as security. He said there, man, I just stood at the red light. I didn't want to bring attention to myself. And I was hyped. I turned on AEW, my boy's on there. Granted, he got to knock on the door for Goldberg, but you don't always get those opportunities.
Sure.
More opportunities, the better. So I would love to see AEW succeed, which is the same reason why I wanted to see TNA/Impact/ the Owl always succeed, because the more places to work, the better. But when they do stuff like this, your pay-per-view is coming up. You have 4 a year. 4 a year,
yeah.
Vern.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get behind when you're telling me you're just throwing things at the wall to see if it's going to stick. And that doesn't make any sense. Punk versus Moxley on television the week before your payper-view, and you have nothing else lined up.
You can pop a monster rating though. I can't say that. I guess I can't say they'll pop them. I don't know if people still know they're still wrestling on TNT, but you figure you want to draw a big rating, maybe they'll get to break 1 million again. They have to break 1 million. If they don't break 1 million, I think they'll. That's it.
What if it draws 800,000? I'm not even big on this ratings thing anymore, because I'll be honest. The way I watch my television, you can't capture me on a Nielsen rating.
Correct.
So what does it matter, right? There's a lot of people
that
stream, catch the replay, so those numbers are jaded anyway, right?
Sure.
I really don't care about ratings, but that's what it matters, right? That's what everybody talks about.
Correct. So and if I think he draws an 800, that's a bad. That's it.
Then what?
You gave away your pay-per-view for free, and that's all you drew.
This is my gripe. This is my gripe with AEW, right? They let their champions breathe. I said that. But the problem is, who's next? Who's next? I think we had this conversation not too long ago. Who's next, Vernon? There's Moxley, there's Punk. You have 2 champions. Who can you throw in there?
What's his face? Adam Page. That's the only other thing that makes sense. Page,
what has Page done? What has Page done recently? What has Page done recently? He's had that story.
Wore butterfly jeans.
He has that story with the Dark Order and saving the Young Bucks, where they made it seem like they were going to be a trio. But then they said, nope, I'm not going to be a part of that. You're telling me in a week he's now the number 1 contender for the championship, where records matter? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Now that I just thought of that, I just remembered that. What are these AEW power rankings?
Are we in a role reversal? What's happening right now? Are you me?
It just irks me.
You're doing my shtick right now. You're doing my angry fan shtick.
Oh my God, you are so correct, and it's making me mad right now. You are so correct.
I'm serious.
Who's the number 1 contender as of last week, Vern? Who's the number 1 contender? Just say it. Just say it.
Adam Page. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
You know what's scary? I'm making this up as I'm sitting here with you, because I'm just making it up, but I'm nailing it because this is fan booking.
Do you want to know who's number 2 behind Hangman Page? Take a guess.
Jay Lethal.
Powerhouse Hobbs. What?
What?
It doesn't make sense. These power rankings. It doesn't make sense. It's nonsense. Okay.
Okay,
The men's
shout out to Hobbs.
it is the contenders for all 4 men's championships. So Hangman Page is the #1 contender for which title? Is Hobbs? Oh, 4 because it's interim. 3. I'm sorry, 3, including the All Atlantic Championship that gets defended everywhere. Okay, and the TNT title. Okay, so Hangman Page is the #1 contender for all 3 titles. Is Hobbs the contender for all 3 titles? Is Jericho, because it's Page, Hobbs, Jericho, Garcia, Lethal. Hobbs, Jericho, and Garcia just catapulted their rankings up. They have green arrows going up. Lethal stayed at 5, I guess, and Page is 1. Page is 1. Page is 1. What has Page done on television, sir? What? I can't. I'm sweating right now. I'm sweating. I'm getting so angry. I'm freaking sweating right now. This light is hot as hell. I'm talking. I'm breaking a sweat. I'm gonna get mad. And
this is the greatest thing. I'm relishing in the fact that this is what it must be like to watch me get upset over watching this stuff.
It's because like I said, it sucks when you want something to succeed so bad and then you see it failing in a way where you can just do a couple things to fix it and it'll be all right. It's like watching your daughter. It's like watching your daughter do something and you want to say something, but you're like, you know what? You got to let them be. Because they got to figure it out on their own. You got to figure it out. Rocky, don't touch. You know what? Let her touch it and she'll figure it out on her own. She's got to learn. She's got to learn. It's exactly what it is. It's like Tony. It's okay if you make that your all-out pay-per-view. You want pay-per-view buys. Forget TV ratings. You don't have a network. You want pay-per-view buys. That's where your money is. That's why you do pay-per-views. You're going to give this away for free on TV? You know what? All right, here's what's going to happen. All right, this is my last take. My last take on this. Okay. What's going to happen is it's going to turn into a ladder match. I guarantee you it's going to be I guarantee you it's going to be
ladder match.
Punk Moxley ladder match for the AEW World Championship. If that happens, I swear to God, I'm gonna blow a gasket. I swear to God, bro, this is ridiculous. Let's move on.
If it does become a double ladder match, we have to record your response to that.
We have to do. All right, here's the thing, Vern. Here he goes. All Out is on a Sunday, correct? Or is it Saturday this year? If they announce whatever day it is, if they announce that the pay-per-view is going to be Punk versus Moxley in a ladder match,
or Adam Page.
Oh, sure.
That's my pick. My pick is Adam Page is going to fight at the pay-per-view.
Sure,
and that
I'm gonna write this down.
Moxley and Punk that's my picks. As last time our predictions, this is our prediction for this random thing in wrestling. I'm saying Adam Page is going to be in the main event.
Page versus Punk. Page versus Punk.
I think it's Page versus Punk. Yes.
You got AEW
Moxley
World
doesn't drink blood and whatever, or a 3-way. What do you think it becomes a 3-way?
Oh God, no way. Okay, so I got Mox versus Punk, AEW World Title ladder match.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with 3-way. Actually, let's get away from that. I think there has to be a 3-way
because I just feel like versus Punk versus Moxley. Okay. If any of those two things happen, we are going to do a live watch along, Vern. A live watch along of the entire pay-per-view. Okay. We're gonna have to sit and watch the entire pay-per-view.
So you're saying if this footage will never make it on air, we're never gonna get to make this footage anywhere.
First of all, because maybe we'll do it where we're watching it like this.
Yeah, it'll have to be. We'll have to watch it silent, and we'll just have to comment.
And then you'll just have to watch along with us as the show goes along. That's the only way. That's what's gonna happen, bro. Here we go. Can we go to the WWE? We've been talking about AEW for an hour and a half. It was quick anyway about, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do one last AEW thing.
Look how angry you are about AEW.
And get it out of the way. We wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't get a chance to. Okay. We're probably going to get copyright stricken because of it.
Hey, wait.
Because, Aubrey, what's his name?
God.
What's his name?
Stephen Davenport. Something Davenport.
Yeah, something not Aubrey Edwards.
Stephen Davenport. I'm pretty sure it's Stephen Davenport.
They have their AEW Fight Forever game coming out. I have it. I don't think there's an exact date. I have it wish list on my Steam account. Let's see if there's a release date now. It just said, oh, now it says February 2023.
Yeah, all right.
Pushed back. It said push back.
That's what's about to get pushed back further than a poor hairline.
2023 is what it's saying now. We have right now in the flesh trailer. Are you ready? Why can't I pump it up? How come I can't? What can't I? No. Okay, we'll take a full screen. We'll take a full screen.
And this is Tony Schiavone
Okay.
walking down the hallway. Looking sad like somebody's sad daddy.
We'll do it like this. This is the AEW Fight Forever official game trailer. It came out that same day that Tony announced all the new roles for all his peoples. All right, are you ready? Are you ready, Vern? You ready? 2 minutes of your time, sir.
Tony.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Brett, hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Going to my room.
No.
What? Go away. What?
Get your back. Come on.
Suspiciously invites him in.
I muted you.
Don't step on the piece.
Oh, okay.
This audio will be on the this audio will be on the.
Leave your back here.
Okay, so only you and I can hear each other?
What?
No, not right now. I'm muting it. I'm muting both of us.
What's happened in here?
AEW Fight Forever video game happened here.
So, now what?
Well, are you hungry? On second thought, don't eat that. But now, it's finally time to reveal AEW Fight Forever to our AEW fans at the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase. Check it out, Tony. I will be me, the one legendary DMD, and you will be Adam Cole.
Oh man, this game is awesome.
I told you would love it.
Yeah.
I told you. Am I ever wrong?
No,
Never.
I should.
Never.
Whoa, yeah. This game is it's tremendous. Are there any weapons in this game?
Are there any weapons? Look how easy this is to play. You didn't have to figure out a million freaking buttons. Even though I could have, because I'm a dentist.
Oh, no.
But I just picked it up today and started playing, and I'm already the best at it. And career mode,
Wow.
mini games.
Wow, really excited you tell me about career mode, I can tell you that. And almost lost my mind when I found out that AEW Fight Forever has mini games.
How did you find out about the mini games?
You told me.
AEW Fight Forever, coming soon.
Oh,
D and D. Knock your teeth out, Shivani.
Well, at least I know a good dentist.
CAW 99, Shane never lost.
Okay, bro. Your thoughts.
CAW 99, Shane never lost. Never lost.
If Britt Baker, I'm gonna get the game.
Big
right?
body Britt Baker, let's go. Big baller brand Britt Baker, let's go.
I'm gonna get the game. And if Britt Baker is in a 99 everything, I'm gonna be livid. I'm not getting.
I'm returning it. I'm returning it.
You said I'm returning. I'm gonna go to Steam. I'm gonna be like, request refund.
Request refund.
Give me my
Baker's not
40
99.
bucks
Game
back
is
or
inaccurate.
whatever it is.
Game is inaccurate. I'm done.
Let me ask you
inaccurate.
this now, as a matter of
What?
fact. How much you think the game's gonna be? How much you think it's gonna cost?
Oh, $59.99.
$59.99?
Oh, full price. It looks like a $29.99 game. If we're being honest, it looks it looks like a shovelware game.
I wouldn't pay no more than 40. 40 is probably the
39
most,
for real.
$39.99. That's a AAA game, so you got to get
paying
AAA.
30. I'm thinking $29.99. No way. This game looks like. I understand it's THQ Nordic, but this game looks like an Xbox Live Arcade game.
It looks like Impact.
It looks like the AAA game.
Oh, Heroes del Ring. Me and Shay were talking about that the other day.
I bet you remember
that. Do you remember when we rented that from Blockbuster? How bad that game was, bro. I was so upset playing that game.
Bro.
Oh my Lord. I gave it a day. I was all set.
There's games that you remember. Where were you? The first time you played WWF, not Warzone. What was that? What was that other that horrible?
Raw.
No.
Warzone
the one that was like
first one.
What was one that was like up, down, left, square?
Warzone. Where they used to stand like this. Yeah, Warzone. With that,
and then you grab the guy, and then grab him, move.
Starter.
Powerbomb.
Yeah. Bro, I remember getting the magazine. I don't think it was Game Informer. I don't remember what magazine it was back in the day, but I got the magazine that had it showed you what the button controls were going to be for WWF games. It taught you how to do the rock bottom, and it was like down, right, down, left. What buttons was it then? Square, triangle, rock bottom. I was like, oh, that was the Acclaim games. Those are the Acclaim games. Those were terrible. The Acclaim games were bad, but you couldn't tell me nothing about Warzone. Me and my brother used to book shows on Warzone, bro. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Before Universe Mode, we had our own Universe Mode, brother. You couldn't tell us no different. But listen, I just want to say something. You know what turned me off from that game immediately? You know what turned me off? And no, it wasn't Britt Baker. No, it wasn't Tony Schiavone. It wasn't the trailer. You know what turned me off from that game?
What?
The mini games. The mini games.
Oh,
as soon as I seen the home run derby,
stupid. They're those are the Super Smash Brothers mini games. Like they're like party mini games,
bro. If your game, you're telling me you are a pro wrestling game, right?
You were so insulted right there. You were like, bro.
That is filler. That is a Swerve in Our Glory promo. Those mini games. That is a Swerve in Our Glory promo. Filler. Meaningless, nothing. Are you going? If you were to buy that,
you know
game,
what's crazy?
I can't wait.
You know what's crazy though?
Play a mini game.
They spent money in development to make that.
Like
that's the best wrestling they could come out with, but they also simultaneously with creating a wrestling video game, were like, "Yo, mini games though."
You know what we need? Mini games
and bats, barbed wire bats. Like what?
That game
the fact that they said weapons. Let me show you.
Oh yeah, put a trash can over his head and he could still move normally. Gotta love wrestling. Okay, I just wanted to bring that up. We didn't get to bring it up last time. Fight for Never.
Shout out to her. To my favorite dentist wearing sweatpants
and Jordans, right?
Sweatpants and Jordans and a flannel and glasses, doing her best. Like, I'm just a chick chilling in my room. You know what I'm saying?
Pizza all around, dirty room. Even the atmosphere of the trailer just didn't make any sense. That was the
thing I didn't get, right? So she's in sweatpants, right? Her hair done, glasses, right? Has the whole like cool hip girl thing, but then her room was covered in
a mess. Hotel room was a mess.
A virgin. Like a neckbeard virgin. You're making fun of a neckbeard virgin joke, right? So you set it up.
Well,
but when she took the pizza and she was like, "Do you want a slice?" Don't worry.
Never mind. You don't want that. You don't want that.
It was just like, why are you forcing comedy? And that was the part that aggravates me. Is just the forced comedy bit. And then, wait, why are you asking about the weapons? You just told me. Like literally 5 seconds in the ad. Like, I understand it was a cut. You guys cut it to make it funny, but like, and then when she lifted up the table with Tony and the fact that he was like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, again, you didn't sell it. So it just makes it seem weird that you helped him flip the table, but he just says, good thing I got a dentist for like, it was like,
It was the typical AEW booking.
It had its moments, but what could have been a decent, just a normal commercial, they try to yuck it up too hard. That's the thing. I just like, why do you have to force the comedy? Let it be funny on its own. Don't all right, ready? Here comes the joke and joke.
But here's the thing. That was for, it was for a showcase. It was for a showcase. So they showed a bunch of other games, and that was their little 2-minute spot to showcase their game. And you got about 35 seconds of gameplay, and then mini games and Britt Baker and Tony Schiavone. Yeah. Can we talk about WWE now? Can we?
I tried, man, but you're really stuck on. You're hating the dub tonight. Normally, I'm on the dub hate train, but I've been pretty sympathetic to the dub as of late because I'm noticing that this is it. I feel like this is the pangs of death crying out.
Oh.
And you're just like tonight, you're just kicking them all down, man.
Can we talk about my daddy, Papa H?
Please.
Let's talk about Papa H. Let's talk about the Papa H influence, man. Let's talk about
Papa H single-handedly babyface in the entire wrestling world to where I think everyone's comment is pretty much don't scroll up and check my, don't check my post history when I was saying how much I hated Raw, how much I hated the worst show ever, because by the way, they tickle, piss, slap, cum, fart, whatever
Bangers.
bangers they put on every week now. So
let me ask you this. They had this question. I'm gonna steal something from Busted Open. They had a question. They said, other than the wrestling, what has been the biggest difference? Because Vince Russo had this question, I guess.
Yeah.
You remember? Did you hear that part? He said, other than the wrestling, what has been the big difference in WWE television since Triple H has taken over?
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, what is the biggest difference besides the fact that we see more wrestling? What is the biggest difference?
The commentary. The commentary is 100% different. There's a liveliness, there's a banter now that you hear between them that sounds authentic and sounds like two people having a conversation versus two people talking at a wrestling show who are sitting there trying to hit all their points and making sure they hit all the things that they're supposed to talk about. Like,
and my biggest difference, to piggyback off that commentary, it's talking, is the way these workers are now cutting their promos. Do you see Drew McIntyre's
and that too,
promo?
the promos, man.
You see Drew McIntyre's promo? Oh my Lord. I wasn't paying attention and he grabbed my attention. I was on my phone waiting for the wife to get out the shower so I can go in. And then he cut the promo. My phone went down. I was like, oh, because Kevin Owens, I watched Kevin Owens. I'm like, okay, it's Kevin Owens promo. He started talking. We're wrestlers. I'm doing this in a wrestling ring. I was like, okay, Drew. I was like, you got me. And then they had a pay-per-view match. They gave you a pay-per-view match without trying to bill it like a pay-per-view.
And how did it end? They took away the finish from you.
Yep.
Shocker. Yep. A DQ finish that works because it denied the fans wanting to see a winner. We want to see a definitive winner, and you didn't get to.
You didn't get it. You don't. And I think that's one major difference that the WWE understands and AEW doesn't yet. That you don't need to always have a winner and a loser, especially to advance a story. Yeah. You've got to have some kind of parity. You got to have it where something causes something else to happen. Even if you do have a winner, it could be a tainted win. It could
yes. I think oftentimes the finishes lack that, like, the out. What's the out for the heel? What's the out for the babyface? Right. And if it isn't out, it's always like I often argue, you always have to have a degree in psychology to be like, well, the nuance is the story. And it's like, no,
my God.
Just give me a foot on a rope, for God's sakes. Just give me something simple that anybody can understand.
Something simple where you cheat and people get it. And it's visual and everybody can see it.
That was the finish on NXT Level Up. The finish on one of the guys, one of the other I can't forget the kid's name, but the Colombian kid. He finally got a gimmick. And he's big body something.
I forgot you're talking about.
But in his match, they did the typical babyface, and in his match, he turned heel in his match, and he won by pinning the guy, and like the green. Instead of throwing his feet up on the ropes for the high stack pin, he just reached over and just grabs the rope and just like you just see him like holding the rope. Like it was like
one of these. He's doing one of these.
Not even that. No. Just this.
He just goes, just
had the pin, and it was like, oh wait, I'm supposed to cheat.
Pull his tights or something at that point.
1, 2, 3, and he gets out the ring. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? That was fun because he's green. You could tell he like had that moment of like, oh. And he grabs it. He didn't do the shake. He didn't do the face like, oh, I'm cheating, holding him down. Just
I'm gonna hold it.
See that?
Yep.
Do you see that?
This is what they told me to do. This is what they told me to do. I'm holding it. So did you also know about NXT? That's Sean creative. Since the 2.0 inception.
Okay.
It's Sean creative.
Why are you dragging me back into the basement? There was another one of these. Don't check my post histories.
Really?
Because Sean who doesn't love Shawn Michaels?
Of course. Sean's a sweetheart.
When
loves Sean.
The basement collectively found out that Sean admits to anything booking-wise that happened has all been me.
On 2.0,
it was like...
I didn't say that.
Yo, all that porn NXT slander?
Out the window?
Just crickets. It was like... People still make it, but it was just like, you know what? Sean probably got forced to do it. Like people started excusing him, and I'm just like, what's happening
it was
here?
definitely Bruce Pritchard's narrative from Vince, of course. It was Vince who told him to do that. We want to see more boobies. So Sean was just forced. Sean didn't have a say in that. I'm sure Sean wanted to go a different direction because Sean's a man of God, and Sean would want that to happen.
So
I can hear it already.
That
I
was
can hear
the
it already.
other weird thing. The other weird thing was it took a turn, and people were making excuses for Sean, and others. I mean, other people were like, "Oh well." Like, you know, like then these are all his crappy ideas. Like, geez, then we need Triple H back, right? Because Triple H gives back bangers.
No, we don't.
But then
we got Triple H right where we need him. We got Sean right where you need him.
Some like me are like, you know what? Truth be told, NXT Level Up, I watched 3 episodes a day and I was hooked. Because I was like,
Level Up now.
Yo, it's half-hour shows. It's the perfect
it's wrestling.
timing.
It's all wrestling, right?
Half-hour show. It's wrestling. No, it gives you gimmicks. But it gives you 30-second promo, minute promo.
Perfect.
Hey, this is like that Spanish kid. He worked Parker Bordeaux that first show, and then in this newest show, he finally gets his gimmick. He's a heel with a name.
Okay.
I'm excited to figure out how he went from point A to point Z.
Sure.
But like I told you today, I was like telling you today, yo, check out this kid. Check out this kid. Is that his second?
Yeah, we watched Quincy Elliott. We were talking about Quincy Elliott earlier. Yeah, the Super Diva.
Yo, NXT Level Up. I was sleeping on it till a 00 today. Shout out to my favorite 00. He knows who he is. My favorite 00 was like, yo, check out that show. And I was like, I've never even heard of this show. Right. Half-hour show, bro.
I've never watched Level Up till today.
I was into it. Yeah. I was 30 seconds. I legit was like in the middle of prepping for for work.
Mm-hmm.
Had it on. I was able to look up, watch the matches. Matches were quick. Matches were like 5-minute matches. A simple school match. Worked a headlock. Right.
Yeah.
Hit one high spot. 1, 2, 3. Terrible finish pin. You know, but I get the idea. They boo.
You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Right. You're gonna learn.
The two girls tonight. Going in, the one girl is athletic as all. Was it gymnastic?
It's by those girls that we talked about that got signed.
Yes.
Like some of them.
Yo, Cora Soul. No, they're not Cora. Soul and Soul Laura Soul. I'm doing that thing where I confuse names.
Where you're just jumbling words together, jumbling names together.
Something was her name, but anyway, Homegirl versus the sister or the friend to Braddock's and to the 2 redneck dudes.
Oh, Josh Briggs. Shout out to Josh Briggs, another guy I know from out here. Briggs and Jensen.
Briggs and Jensen.
The girl with the
I seen a tag team. First time I seen a tag team, I popped for it because I was like, oh, this could be a good Hoss tag team. Just two good old boy rednecks who just want to fight. Like, it's an easy game.
It's funny because Josh Briggs was nothing near that in the Indies too.
No.
And he grabbed that character and embraced it, cut his hair.
He has all the he was a super nerd. He's got all the tattoos of like the Justice League. He's like super into comics and stuff.
Yeah, he used to have long hair, big beard, all that. He looks
like a Viking. He was like a Viking on the Indies where he was just like a big.
He's a big dude. He's like 6'6" or 6'7". I remember standing next to him at NCW shows. He's huge. Good kid. And he's only been in it maybe 5-6 years tops.
As a good old boy redneck, just out there drinking beer and whatever, it works.
They're like an APA. They're like an NXT APA.
Yeah. But the girl and this other girl have a match. The gymnast female was doing all sorts of just ridiculous little moves, showing off her.
She had a promo recently, didn't she?
Gymnastic spots, like, would it work in wrestling? I don't know, but it was cool to watch. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. She's finding creative ways to do headstands and hold on to holds. Like I was like, okay, it's interesting, whatever. But it's a small arena. It's not for
controlled
TV.
Environment. Yeah,
it's for YouTube and the Peacock show.
So what you're telling me?
Sense.
So what you're telling me, Vern, is NXT Level Up is what AEW Dark should be.
If that's what Dark was, I might watch Dark more.
If Dark was half an hour instead of 15 squash matches, because they booked all these people and they got
back to back. No, you're talking about Dark Elevation. Elevation is a squash.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay, Elevation is the hour-long squash matches before the show. Dark is the 2.5-hour-long marathon
studio taping, right? It was studio tapings or whatever. But anyway, Level Up is a perfect example of what you can do to have your greenhorns work in front of a live crowd. I'm sure that's on before 2.0 goes on. I'm sure of it. I'm guessing, but why would you use a different day to film Level Up when it's only a half hour? You could bang out 3 pre-show matches before 2.0.
And it's 3 matches. You're right. It's 3 matches.
And you said they're no longer than like 6 to 8 minutes tops, right?
Yo, it was a guy single, girl singles, tag match, main event. Done.
Sure. And you're done. You got different parity. You got the greenhorns out there to work in front of a live crowd where that's the only place you're really going to get experience. So shout out to them for doing that right. But we were supposed to be talking about Triple H here. We started talking about Shawn.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It's all good. But the Triple H influence, we were talking about how promos.
Oh, yes. Different. I told you how promos felt different, but how people collectively lost. Because you asked about Shawn Michaels, and I told you, man, the basement collectively lost their minds because one of their darlings. Yeah. One of their darlings was all of a sudden to blame for what is killing the boring golden black skull rock band thing it turned into at the end there.
I just look at it as, I think Vince saw, or somebody saw, maybe not Vince, somebody saw AEW and said they took Triple H's idea and ran with it. But black and gold, the way it looks, black and gold, dark themed. Let's try and take all these indie guys and get them over and with our style. And I think they saw AEW and they were like, you know what? They're also running on the same night as us. Let us change days, change the look to make it our own. I think that's what it was. I don't think it had anything to do with, they're losing in the ratings, blah, blah, blah. If they were comparing, it was because you couldn't differentiate NXT and AEW if you were a casual. If you turn on the television and you went to TNT or TBS at the time, and you were just like, "Is this NXT? Okay, I'm gonna sit and watch." You might lose a fan that way. I think Vince
you've had the most sensible take on that. Actually, that's actually a great take on it because it makes I've argued the same thing. In the sense that I was like, you know what? It was just my side of it was just that I was just tired of it because remember when NXT went to the pandemic, it like doubled down. And all of a sudden we had the same, like where it was going through the process where NXT would get like the cycling where every takeover you'd see the new cast of right, for better or worse, the new cast of characters, the new indie darling, the new star to come in was in the crowd. They introduced him that way. And that way we got our new, and our former champion would put over the new champ and we'd move on.
He'd head on up and then rinse and repeat. Sure.
But we didn't get that. We got the Undisputed Era well beyond they were
supposed to. Because Vince was never going to bring those guys up. Cole did
but do you remember like towards the end when we were getting all those pandemics where they were going on vacation and they were supposed to take Roddy? Roddy didn't want to go into the car.
I didn't see any of that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It got the way was probably the one thing from that pandemic era that I'm like, okay, I rocked with that. That had me laughing.
With Index, Indy Hartwell, and Dexter Loomis.
The Undisputed Era to me was just like, holy cow, that was a gimmick that ran its course, and it was just like, okay, we're gonna redo it and try to rebreathe live into this thing and it was just like, it's like when they went to AEW, it was like, dude, Undisputed Era was done. They had their moment in time. Like
now they Undisputed Elite.
Yeah, they were good as a group when they were, but like the circumstances were different. I'd be okay with Red Dragon never teaming with Adam Cole while they're there. Like I'd be okay with that not being a thing.
Just let them be a tag team.
Yes, and I'm sure it's somewhere down the line. Tony's gonna pull the Kyle and Adam Cole feud again for the umpteenth millionth time because best friends have to have that feud.
When I saw that they put them together again, I'm just like, that's not even your original idea. It's not your original idea.
So
why are you going to bother?
But I like what you said because I ultimately think we're both right in a sense that it just got bland and bold. Sure. And as much as people argued at first, but it was like, dude, they literally went opposite. They use rap music where AEW is rock heavy. AEW is very rock heavy, very that skull and bones and death and death metal. Where NXT definitely went, which for better or worse, it gets called porn XT, right? It's porn. The joke online is porn XT, right? And it's weird,
especially with Toxic Attraction.
But it's crazy, right? You think like they really do have sexualized characters, but so many people get so angry at it because it's childish. But I'm like, but is it though? It's childish is not the word I think of when I watch NXT 2.0. I don't get childish.
It's not at all. It's not childish at all. If anything, it's more mature than what you see on Monday and Fridays.
Yes.
So how could they? I don't know.
I'm telling you,
fans are
the
fickle.
double O,
Fans are
my
fickle,
double
bro.
O, my double O always tells me, "Oh, you're gonna go watch the playground now, huh? You're gonna go watch the playground?" And I'm like, "Dude, just watch the show. The show
There's
is."
no way
I'm
he can't
telling
think
you.
that way now because the way Triple H has been running the
Oh,
shows.
can I tell you? So the effects of Triple H. Triple H is causing double O's to question themselves.
Good. That's a great thing to do. Then
Triple H
That's
is
a great
causing
thing to
double O's
do.
to look at AEW and all of a sudden go, "Hey, this actually isn't as good as I thought it was. This booking
So
is kind of weird." It's really interesting how I'm watching this double O change his mind all the time on stuff and agreeing with me where last a month ago he'd have been yelling at me about
right,
I'm
you couldn't do
wrong,
no
I'm out of
wrong.
touch, I know what I'm talking about.
You're drinking Vince's Kool-Aid, I bet. So, what was I just about to ask you? Oh my God, hold on, I lost it.
I know this is a 5-minute warning though. We got 155, man. We're trying to get to the
Yeah,
2-hour mark.
I
What's
was
up?
gonna ask you. It was about. Oh my God, it's gone. Damn it.
This is how I know you're tired because tonight you've had more like I've lost it than me. Again, normally that's my job,
That
and
is
I
your
almost fell
job.
asleep on camera, and you woke me up, and I've been full of energy since. And now you're like, "Yo, what is that thing again?"
I
I'm
just
forgetting.
lost it. It had to do with Triple H. Hold on a second. I don't want the time to tick away on me. Come on now. Come
All
on
right,
now.
Kenny
You were
Omega,
talking.
come on, Kenny. Either make the tag or get out the ring, but don't just
Listen,
stand there and hug
I
the
got
guy.
my compression shirt on with all my padding. I'm ready to go, brother. See, you're making it go away even further while you do stuff like that. Crap. It's gone. It's out of here.
Okay,
It's out
fair
of here.
enough.
Over the top rope.
Okay, listen, friends, we're gonna do a live watch along after this. We're gonna do a watch along, Fran and I, Frank Champion and I, because there's a video I want to get his reaction to, and the fact
Are
that
we
he's
doing a
half
bonus
asleep
though?
right now.
Are we
Yeah,
doing
we
a
should do
bonus?
that bonus. We should do it. I mean, do you want? Well, you're tired tonight. I mean, if you're tired, we don't have to do it tonight.
We could, bro. We could.
But
It's plenty. It's early.
because it's early, because
I got
typically
to
we're not
edit
going
and
to
stuff too. Yeah.
We go to bed at 3 in the morning usually.
Yeah,
and
it's
a
early.
little behind the curtain, y'all. It's only 1 in the morning. We're trying to keep these at 2 hours because we realize that we do go on long. We like the sound of our own voices and the smell of our own farts.
We work in the morning.
And we got to work in the morning. But for some reason,
Facts.
we this is the only time I can talk about wrestling with someone who I feel like you get what I'm talking about. You're not trying to convince me that the glue is vanilla ice cream. You understand it's glue. Don't eat it. Don't try to tell me it's
do
glue.
not eat it.
Yeah,
do not eat it. Oh my God, it was something that had to do with the double O's.
I'm doing my best to try to give you some time to remember it, and you're not remembering.
Oh my God, it's right there. That's what she said. Damn it. It's right there. It had something to do with the double O's getting their minds changed.
Well, hey man. Well, look, we got 3 minutes left. Let me ask you a quick rapid fire question.
Sure.
Triple H is back. He's been making a lot of returns. A lot of people are coming back. A lot of acts are returning. I'm gonna call them acts because the people are coming back. We don't know where they're gonna fit in.
Sure.
How do you feel about Triple H bringing back, and again, exclusively? So far, we've seen a lot of exclusive NXT talent that were let go of budget cuts have been brought back to the main roster in their original gimmicks, which is the crazy part.
Oh, you just hit me. I was gonna say something about Undisputed Era should have been called up a minute ago, but now continue on. Continue what you're gonna say. Go ahead. It just
actually, you know what? Can I tell you something? This week, Roddy did a promo that just, man, I remembered why Roddy's the worst promo ever. Roddy gave me a homicide level promo this week that just had me in tears from laughing at him.
Do you think Diamond Mine is a joke on people with lisps? Because every single member of Diamond Mine has a lisp. If you think about it,
I hear you. I would agree with you, except that I'm positive those Creed brothers could stretch the two of us and put a sandwich on the back and make a star of ourselves.
They both turned me into a pretzel, and I'm not flexible at all. I'm 359 pounds. I just weighed myself the other day. 359 pounds. They would turn me into a pretzel.
Yeah,
without
I'm
a doubt.
pretty positive they're
the bigger one that looks like Nick Diaz. The one that looks like Nick Diaz, the bigger one.
Do you think he has a future as a single?
No, they're attacking.
Hearing him cut a promo, really? I heard him cut that promo. So I was like, man, I wonder if they could get something with this kid.
I think
he was fired up
Steiners.
yesterday.
I think they're the Steiners all over again.
Yeah,
and I think
I'm okay with that. I'll take them being the Steiners.
I think they need to remain a tag team. I hope they don't split them. Just like, remember how they split Enzo and Big Cass too soon? They split them too soon.
With Carmella, yeah, breaking them up. Well, hey, who knew? Today we'd be talking about how Carmella had her Mania moment and Enzo and Cash are doing what they do.
Yep. Okay. What were you going to ask me about with Triple H though? You said
Will Joe Morrissey. Oh, just what do you think about his returns? His bringing people back.
I look at it as these people should have been there already for the most part.
Okay. Okay. You feel the same thing about the NXT, the NXT UK folk that they brought back too?
What folks they bring back?
NXT UK. So rumor. Oh man, see, we got a minute left. Here's a teaser for next time, friends.
We can go a little.
Here's a little teaser. Okay, why not?
Yeah, talk about it.
NXT UK. Rumors are that NXT UK is shutting down.
I heard about they canceled some shows because the studio was using it for soccer. Because the UK, it's like getting canceled for the NFL out here.
But UK has been the most consistent show, has been the most consistent pro wrestling show for the last their entire existence.
Can I tell you?
I would dare say they are if you like pro wrestling, you watch NXT UK.
Can I tell you the last time I watched NXT UK?
When?
Ilya Dragunov defeated Walter for the UK championship.
You watched that one match. You didn't watch, you didn't actually watch the shows.
That's the last time I watched anything NXT UK. I'm not trying to say I hate it or anything like that, but it was just, I couldn't get behind the characters.
UK is pro wrestling. They do pro wrestling angles, like they do pro wrestling promos. They interview people like pro wrestling.
You gotta have a taste for it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I won't say I'm a diehard, but I during the pandemic I decided to watch shows, and so like I watched.
I bet it wasn't affected either. I bet it wasn't affected by the pandemic. UK.
Well, no, they did pandemic shows. Yeah,
I know, but I mean like with their direction and what they
Oh,
do.
that I can't. I can't. I don't.
I couldn't.
Unfortunately, there's not much dirt sheet rumors on NXT UK. So outside of them being apparently closing,
well, they're always inside a studio, right? They're inside a studio doing shows.
Yes.
It's not like they go touring, and there's no sources out in the UK that's giving these dirt sheets all these news. Stop before I get another aneurysm. Oh
right.
My God.
Yo, there's a great place to stop.
You think it's good right here?
Place to end. Friends, thank you all so much for joining us. Yo, this has been a great episode. This has
this one.
Honestly, this may be one of my favorite ones.
Because we just talk,
but I have not. It has been a long time since you've gone on an angry, smart-filled rage, and tonight you brought a Lapsed fan who was angry at Tony Khan, and I like that energy. I like an angry Frank champion.
I'm sorry,
Frank champion who heals out the double O's, and you had me going babyface in the double O's. I dig this turn. It's a turn I didn't expect, but
it's
friends,
episode 13.
I was
the end of the season
to sit at the front of the table to do 13 episodes. It has been your boy Vernon Somoza. I'm not going to do the ending. I'm going to leave it up to you because you do a much better version of this than me.
Okay,
so you do your thing.
Right. All right,
do your thing. Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're 2 hours in.
Wait. Hold on. Let me do my Val Venus.
Excuse me. You gonna do the towel joint and all that? The whole towel joint. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode 13. So we've been doing this for half a year.
Let's go.
That's crazy when you think about it. We started in February.
Commitment.
We started in February.
We only took 1 week off, and that's when I was moving.
That's the only reason why. Yeah, it's the only reason why. So this has been another episode 13 of the Pay Window Podcast, presented by the Sandbox Podcast Network.
Shout out to Sandbox Podcast Network.
For Vernon Somoza. No, he is Vernon Somoza. Let me get that right. He's Vernon Somoza. Who am I? That's my tip.
That's Frank Champion.
I am me. He is him. We are they. Say peace, Vern.
Peace, Vern.
I'm telling you, I'm getting better every time now.